lose these shades a tiny bit. And so I don't know if some of you noticed this morning I got on the um, the video, and sorry, I'm gonna get my hat. Hold on a second, and just kind of keep my hair down so it's not so distracting to you guys. Um, so I got on here earlier, and guess what? The video, which I thought was on this channel, was uploaded to my other channel. So this is a super important article, and I kind of want to get right into it and update you guys here in Vermont that I got this from in my email, and it's from the VermontDigger.org, and the title of it is Vermont House Passes Bill Creating Pathway to Sue Federal Agents for Civil Rights. Now, it doesn't go into great detail on the exact event, but it will talk about it a little bit. The other day here in Vermont, we had, there was quite a lot of chaos in what they call South Burlington, and it was like what we reference as like the Shelburne area, or it's Shelburne Road. So as a result of that, very quickly in Vermont, they got together yesterday afternoon. So let me read this. And the House got together yesterday afternoon, and they are passing this bill. So the bill's approval comes in the wake of the first major clash here in Vermont between federal immigration agents and protesters here in Vermont under this administration. I'm just show you the picture here, guys. This is protesters surround an ICE agent during a demonstration against an earlier attempted stop by ICE in South Burlington. So there were tons of people down there. I unfortunately found out about it at the last minute, or else, I mean, pretty much after the fact, or else I would have jumped in my car and took a drove over there. Now, days after a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement operation sparked chaotic clashes between the police and protesters in South Burlington here in Vermont. If any of you are familiar with this area, it is right there next to Burlington, okay? And the Vermont House on Friday passed a bill that would create a new legal pathway for people to sue these federal agents, and the referencing ICE agents they allege have violated their constitutional rights. The bill, H.849, was in the works before Wednesday's operation that has put intense public scrutiny on the actions of ICE agents in Vermont. You know, Vermont, as you know, is one of the first states to step up with civil rights on many different occasions, many different issues. Now, during the hours-long standoff, and they're not, I'm going to tell you what they're talking about, because I don't think they go into detail here, but hours-long standoff, federal immigration officers used flashbang devices and chemical agents to break up a crowd at the scene, according to an account provided by Vermont State Police. Now, I had seen a little bit of a clip on this, and there were blocks of people in South Burlington. Now, as I understand it, some of these agents were trying to go into, it doesn't say in the article, but as I understand it, they were trying to go into someone's apartment. And as you know, guys, the many occurrences have been happening across the United States with the ICE agents not identifying themselves, just taking people and putting them in the car, not giving them any reasons. And they're not just doing this to immigrants, guys, are doing this to citizens. So the protesters, I had understood, were standing in front of a house, but it doesn't say it in the article. But that was by word of mouth. So anyway, but supporters said this week's legislation, which got initial approval Thursday on 9739 vote, before winning final approval on an untallied voice, a vote Friday, takes a new urgency after the first major clash between federal immigration agents and protesters in Vermont under this Trump regime. I gotta tell you guys, this is super serious. Okay, there are many immigrants in the United States here legally. Many of them will come over for a short period of time. Some come over here for school. Some do come over here, do a little work and go back. They are not here illegally. They are here by the legal system and temporarily. I mean, this is serious. And now they're going after citizens. So, I'm going to tell you, I'm so proud of our Governor Scott. I have to tell you, I am, of this, of Vermont. And as a lot of you know, Vermont used to be part of Canada, and I keep saying this. If this is pushed, if this agenda keeps going and going, and it's pushed too much, I could see the group that's working on, the group that is working on the fact of Vermont to become part of Canada, that could come to fruition. So it shows an example. Hi guys, how are you? Hi there. It shows, thank you for being here. Pretty good, my day was good. I got a clip for you guys of the snow coming down because it was snowing like a blizzard this morning. And it is just really dark today. But so it shows an example of why you have to have laws like this on your books to better protect people in the state. Falco Schilling, a lobbyist with the American Civil Liberties Union of Vermont, said, which supports the bill and has condemned ICE operation in South Burlington. Rights without a remedy aren't really rights at all. Now, in a statement praising the bill's approval, House Speaker Jill Kowinski, a Democrat from neighboring Burlington, also tied its passage to what she called the most invasive action taken on Vermont soil by federal law enforcement agents. Governor Scott said he will not put up with this in Vermont. He will not put up with these ICE agents coming and just picking people up off the street, cutting them off while they're driving and putting them in the cars, and they're disappearing. And we don't know where they're going, and they have not identified themselves or given a reason at all for taking these individuals. There's a word for that, and it starts with a K. You know what it is, guys. It's not okay. The events that occurred have left many unanswered questions, including whether the constitutional rights have been violated, and the legislation is crucial to providing an avenue for Vermonters to seek justice in case their rights are violated. Now that it's passed the House, the bill will go to the Senate. Now, as it stands, in 1871 federal law, so check that out, guys. Hi there, how are you? This law goes back to 1871, and it allows people to bring civil rights lawsuits in the federal court against the state and local government officials, including the police. And that law is known as Section, check it out and remember it, 1983. That's the bill we're talking about right now. 1983. Section in the Constitution It's Section 1983. And it's an 1871 federal law that allows people to sue and take the police and these local and state authorities into court. Well, you have to be able to protect yourself, guys. But Congress has not passed a similar law allowing for such lawsuits against the federal agents, such as ICE. So, guess what? Vermont just did it. Vermont just did it. That's where Vermont's bill comes in, and others like it that have been enacted in one state and are being considered in a handful of others. Can you imagine, guys? All of the states in the United States are having to pass another bill just to protect their citizens from the federal government, guys. This is astounding. This is serious, guys. You got to keep speaking up to your local officials and support them. The deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured by the Constitution of the United States. So that's what the legislation would allow anyone in Vermont to sue for. Officials could notably still claim immunity and legal doctrine that broadly bars officers from any liability under their conduct violated clearly established law. That's a reasonable officer would have known the conduct was unconstitutional. Claims could include an infringement of someone's Fourth Amendment rights if federal officers entered their house without a valid warrant, said Representative Martin Lalonde in South Burlington, the bill's sponsor, presenting it on the floor Thursday. Another example would be possible infringement of the First Amendment rights if officers prevent someone from engaging. Do you know how many people are having to go to court to fight for their rights today? It's concerning. And what's happening is extremely similar to World War I and II. It is, guys. Lalonde acknowledged that the bill, if it became law, could be challenged by the federal government in court. The Trump administration sued Illinois, the one state that had passed a similar law, seeking to nullify the legislation after it was enacted last year. Still, Lalonde told his colleagues he thinks Vermont would have a strong counter argument and that the measure was definitely worth pursuing. Yeah, you have to. You can't just do nothing, right, and let this kind of behavior continue. It's like when on a different scale or but a comparison, when a bully is bullying, if you do absolutely nothing, you know how they say do nothing, but no, you definitely from the very beginning want to be able to defend yourself and get help, get a team of people to help you. And that's what Vermont is doing. That's what it's sounding like. We have other states doing this. So on the floor Thursday, House Minority Leader Patty McCoy in Pulteney of Vermont raised the prospect that the legal challenge and said the bill's provisions should have gotten more review in the committee. You know what I don't understand is the Constitution applies to all and to everyone, all levels. So why we're having to do a new bill for that federal level? Because it says in the Constitution very clearly, I'm not exactly sure where, but I've read it, that if the administration is not, for lack of a better way to say it, getting along, working with the state representatives clearly in a reasonable manner, guess what? That administration can be removed. So I'm not understanding why that doesn't occur with all of the states in the United States standing up and having to fight so tenuously. They have to fight diligently and tirelessly for their residents in each state to be protected and treated civilly. This is serious stuff, guys. And it's been serious for a long time. So this says, I will, who is this person? I will vote no on H4849, not because I oppose accountability for government officials. I support that. She said, this is Patty McCoy. She goes, I will vote no because there needs to be a much deeper dive into the Constitution. In other words, she wants more to happen. I agree with that, but I would still vote on this. Anyway, that's the end of the article, but I wanted to share this with you. And I really apologize, guys, for, I got on here and I did this, I read this morning, and it's over on the other channel. So I need to delete it over there because that's my art channel, and I meant for it to be here on our Vermont Sun and Shade. So it is here now. And this, again, the article is written by Sean Robinson as of yesterday, March 13th, and it's about the Vermont House passing a bill just the other day that allows the residents and people of Vermont to sue the ICE people for violating and terrorizing them and whatever else is going on. So, and this was, guess what, in the Vermont Digger. If you're not familiar with the Vermont Digger, it's VT Digger, and that's .org. So they're a newspaper here in Vermont, and they do dig, guys. They investigate big time. So they do a beautiful job, and they send me emails and updates. Now, in a little while, I'm jumping back on here because I have a really, if it's what they say it is, I have a really interesting clip to share with you of the sounds of birds, okay? And we're going to take a listen to that. But thank you so much for being with me this afternoon. I send you love and light.